Hi guys, welcome back. Today we'll be travelling on the North Staffordshire Railway between Leek and Waterhouses. This was a spur that was opened in 1904 and it closed in 1934. It served two purposes. One was obviously passengers, but more importantly it was an important rail hub that went to the Cauldon Low Quarry area. So once we get to Waterhouses, the second part of the trip, we'll be travelling the narrow gauge railway, which was invested in by the local dairies, which went all the way up to Hulme End. As I say, the dairies wanted a connection with both the farms and the bigger community beyond. So come on guys, let's check it out. So here we are again, back at Leek. So at the time when Leek was built, it was just a through station going on the Cheltenham Valley line. But they wanted to build a spur up to Cauldon Low and they needed a terminus for this service. And so the Leek and Manifold Railway was built. As I say, this was finally built in 1904. I think it lasted till 1934. So what was just a through station at one stage then became a terminus. Not just for passengers, but for the freight service, because there was a lot of dairy products that came off that branch line. So let's follow the line up and find the next major junction, which is Cheltenham Junction. So here we are at Cheltenham Junction. So this is a triangle that was built when they built the extension up to Cauldon Low. So here we are on the left, that will go on to the branch line itself. The right, that's the main line going through Cheltenham Valley. Now on the spur on the left there was also an engine shed. Not sure the official name for this engine shed. Here we are at the other end of the triangle. As you can see, this line is live and it's still used by the Preservation Society. So this line goes up to Ipstone. So let's go to the end of the preserve line and follow the rest of the route through to Cauldon Low. As you can see, we're approaching the end of the preservation line. We're now at Ipstone, and this is the line that goes to Cauldon Low Quarry, as well as the branch line that went to the Leek Manifold light railway system. Right, let's see what we can find. Ouch, where's my track gone? I was told there was track all the way through there. Who's took the track up? Yeah, apparently this line was a preserved line, but then it wasn't a preserved line because they dug up all the track and sold off all the steel. That's strange, I didn't know Preservation Societies could do that. So this is a pretty newish withdrawn line. Let's see where it leads. Yeah, here we go. Reaching another of our bridges. And as you can see there, the size of the bridges, this was a single line all the way through. Looks like it anyway at the moment. There's your bridge number in case you need to check it out. That's a quick look back on ourselves. I know it's pretty windy because we're at the summit, Ipstone summit. Yep, that's how many miles we're out. Most probably from Leek. Either that or it's from the Cheltenham Junction. Right, let's keep going. Bridge number 23. Come on down. Let's see from the other side. Right, let's keep going. It's rough, but just about manageable. Whoa, look at this. I can't hardly see in front of myself. It's meant to be a railway line. What's happened to it? Oh. Yeah, there are a few clues, but they're few and far between. But luckily, some nice bridging architecture to keep us occupied. Here we go, bridge number 25. Still intact. Hey, Huck, what's going on here? I'm sure it's meant to be 5.5, you know. Oh yeah, that's what it says underneath. Why has it got 0 on it? Strange. Bridge number 26. We've changed our design actually. I like those trellis ones. That's where the line's going. Pretty breezy here, so hopefully you can hear me. But look at this view. This is what the Preservation Society gave up just because they had some low track. In case you can't read it, that says 5 3/4. I haven't got a clue what that used to say. Coming up to bridge number 28. Let's keep it going. So where we just come, Black Brook Crossing this is called. It goes straight on there. Let's keep going, there should be a station coming up pretty soon. That's what I like to see. All stout bridges. Nice. Yeah, I'd say I've walked a good mile, and as you can see it's just pure nature. Pretty close to that station now, I'm sure of it. I can hear all the cars. It's where they cross over. This is a big bridge. This is the one that goes over the crossroads. As you can see, it's a bit deep. I'd even call it a mini tunnel. Yeah, we're now in the vicinity of Winkhill station. Remember, this was a single line, so it's most probably only got one platform. Let's see if we can find it. I think we found the station building, you know. Look at that baby. I didn't know that was still standing. Not sure about platforms, but wow, the building is there. Nice. I suspect that's where the platforms were. Look at it. Perfect. Nice. Now, the back of the station, there was a goods area. Look at that pathway there. Especially looking at that building down at the bottom. It's very railway related. I think we found the goods yard. That's our latest marker. Phew! Look at that view. Very nice. There you go. Very nice. That's when this was painted. 1966. Let's keep it going, mate. The latest to add to the collection. It's getting a bit clearer. Yeah, obviously we're travelling quite a while, as you've seen with the pictures. We're coming through this lovely cutting at the moment. It's one of those projects that we're not going to go round, not going to go through. They decided to chip away and make themselves a beautiful valley. Look at all the rocks on the side. This looks brilliant. Ooh, very nice. So we hit the 7-mile marker. Not long to go now, I'm sure. Yeah, I found this fascinating. You noticed our bridge? It's a double bridge. We've had single bridges all the way along this line. Does that mean we're finally coming to the business end of the line? Bring it on. As I wander through this narrow trail, I can see a black hole ahead. Hopefully that is the bridge that's going to lead us to the junction, which will take us onto the spur as well as the quarry. Yeah, it looks like this is a more of a modern one. I can see 2 more bridges ahead, so we're certainly at the business end now. It's the second of them 3 bridges, and like you said, it's definitely double track here. Yeah, there's a concrete post over there. For trespassers, or is that just to warn the drivers about what potential movements lie ahead? This may be the location for a signal box, you know, because like you say, that spur is coming up any second. Yes, I was right. This is the junction. This is the junction with a branch line that spurs off to the left. The colliery goes straight ahead. There's a bridge here with 2 arches in it. As I say, one arch taking the line to the left. This arch taking it straight forward. Ooh, let's see what remains of this. It's a very old line, so let's see what still stands. So like I say, this is the branch that goes to Waterhouses, which will join with what we call the Leek Manifold light railway service. But there was also a Cauldon Low halt on this line, obviously for the workers who worked at the quarry. And like you say, this was just a freight only, went straight to the quarry. Let's stick with the freight only and we'll have a look at this other baby on the way back, eh? Yep, a little further down, we should be fine now to the quarry. Yeah, we are widening out here. I suspect we're very close to the main shunt that comes up once we hit the quarry. It's a little hard to make out, but there is some buildings up ahead. Hopefully that's where we'll have the reception yards and everything for this quarry. let's check it out. Yeah, just about to enter the yard here, and look at this wooden structure. I think this might have been a ground frame, you know. Because we're certainly spreading out now. I think we've got about 3 or 4 lines now. Just curves around that corner and it's there. Final approach, coming up to the quarry. This is interesting. Look at this building here. Wow, we're very near the quarry at the moment. Not sure what this building's used for. Go a million miles and then look who turns up. Hello, mate.
Hi, mate.
Right, so can you tell us something about this building?
Yeah, well, we're down at the bottom of the what's the Churnup Valley Preserve Railway. They actually fetched stock down here. I think there were a couple of 31s made it when Moorlands and City Railway took it over. This is Cauldon Low Bridge. I'm surprised it's still standing, but we're down at Cauldon Low end of the line, the quarry. This is where the quarry was. It carried on over this road bridge and into the quarry proper. Lafarge have got the main quarry now. It's still going for the stones. In fact, they're talking about putting another rail link back in here to open it up for HS2, whether they will or not. It'd be great if they do. But the main connection is Stoke, so they've got quite a way to get back to Stoke. So whether that'll happen or not, I don't know. Okay, we're actually inside the weighbridge now. This was like, I found it when I walked the track about 5 years ago, and it's still all here, it's still all intact. We've got the original scales for the weighbridge. So the wagons used to pull out, they'd be shunted on the weighbridge, they'd be weighed off, and they'd go on the journey back up to National Network via Stoke. So I'm amazed this hasn't been weighed in as scrap. I don't know what they're going to do with this, it's just been left.
Not sure what that is, looks like a posh bod box. Anyway, looks like we're coming up to the quarry now. Yeah, a bit of history lost in the undergrowth. So here we are as we approach the end of the branch line. This is Cauldon Low Quarry. It had several of its own private sidings, and I will share with you some air shots so you can see it from above. As you can see, there are still a few signs of the old infrastructure in place, although it did close to freight in 1988. I know it's currently owned by Tarmac, but I believe they're in the process of selling it. I don't know who to, or watch this space is all I can say there. So now let's get back to that branch line and follow the line through to Waterhouses. Right, I'm now on that branch line. And I'm looking back at the junction. Hopefully you can see the bridges. So this is the branch line in question. I don't think anybody's walked this at all. It looks totally inhabitable. I'll give it a bit of a go and let's see where it takes us. I can just about get through, but it is very dense. And I think it's going to get worse. Oh, if you guys like sleeping, there's a lovely bed of nettles here for you. This is the branch line. And it's nettles galore. Oh my goodness. When the nettles come up to your chest, then you know it's time to turn around. I'm sorry, this is unwalkable at the moment. I'll try another look. I'll have a look from the farmer's field, which is a bit further down. Branch came along here, through all these nettles, through even more nettles, and made its way over there. So this is the branch line. As you can see, it's a single line. It's going to take you all the way in. And here's that branch line. You've got no chance of walking that. That is a chaotic mess. So as you can see, this is the branch line. There's not been a lot of walkers on, and there's a few barriers ahead. So keep your eye on that tree line in the background. That was the branch line that's going to take you to Cauldon Low, as well as to Waterhouses, where we'll pick up the line for the light railway system. Now if you notice at the end here, the land has been taken out. That was the actual site of where Cauldon Low Halt used to be, and beyond it there is a bridge still standing, I've been told. Anyway, this is all now on private land that's owned by the quarry, and so we'll now nip to Waterhouses to finish the rest of the trip. So here we are, we've arrived at Waterhouses. This was the terminus of the North Staffordshire Railway, but it's also the start of the Leek Manifold Valley Light Railway service. This went all the way up to Hulme End. So here, if you look at this Google Earth image, the modern day one, if you look at the bottom left, you can see where the line came in, and these grounds generally covered where the line converted. So I'll just overlay a map now to show you where the track used to be. And if you look at the black track, that was the standard gauge from North Staffordshire. The blue track was the light rail service that take you up to Hulme End. There's only one building remaining, and that's a goods shed. Let's have a look at it.
We've hired some bikes. We're going to do the old Leek Manifold Railway. It's sadly a trackbed now. It shut in the 1930s, but this was an interchange for the Leek Manifold, which is a narrow gauge line, where it used to interchange with standard gauge. So it was mainly for the farms, for the milk churns, to take the milk down to Leek. And this side of the trackbed was normal sort of standard gauge, and the narrow gauge was on this side of the line. So narrow gauge trains would come in here. There was an interchange part here where they could roll the wagons onto the narrow gauge, and the main line coming from Leek would be on this side, standard gauge. And this is what you've got now, which is quite good. And we're going to follow the trackbed. We've got about 8 or 9 miles up to Hulme End.
So here we are. This is the location of Waterhouses station. 2 things were transferred here, both passengers and freight. It was simple for the passengers because they just arrived at an island platform, went from one side which was full size to the other side which was narrow gauge, straight onto your train. For the freight it was a bit more complicated. They had to be transferred and put onto what we call transporters so they could be run on the narrow gauge system. Now each of the stations on the narrow gauge line, which had sidings that is, had a very small stretch at the very end so they could accommodate these full-size wagons. When you see the maps, look out for the black bit. The black bit was the full-size track. Just out of Waterhouses station at the moment, got this nice bridge. That's where the narrow gauge is going. Let's follow it and see where it leads. A little further down the line, here we have where the original station used to be for the narrow gauge. It was not connected to the main line. The people and passengers had to walk between the two. As you can see with the concrete stumps, that is where the line was. That was flush. So as you can see, it's slightly below where we are. Hopefully you can just see inside there, there's some gates. These are the gates that used to block off the railway. Can you see them on the other side? So this is where the railway line came through. This is leading up now to a crossing that's going to take us across the road. This is looking back at that station. Here's where the line was, and then it crosses the road.
Okay guys, I've hired a bike now, so we're well onto our way. We've actually got to the first station on the line, which was Sparrowlee, and I think the platform was on this side, because there's still sleepers leaning against the far fence, and the fact that the fence is set back and all would suggest this patch of land's used for something. According to the map, the train was between here and the next bridge any other station, so this is probably Sparrowlee station. It was handy for the farm because they were delivering milk or taking milk from the farms, taking them down to Leek. So I'm struggling a bit on this bike because I've not been on a bike since after the war. So I'm all over the place, but I've not fell off yet. So we're going to carry on in that direction. Hey guys, well we've got as far as Beeston on the Leek Manifold Railway. This is where the station would have been. There's like a campsite here. They look like some semi-permanent dwellers. It looks like a sort of hippie camp. It looks great. And just behind me in the hills there is what they call Beeston Tor. There's a lot of limestone down there. So that's an exposed face, limestone face. And with a few more valleys going in different directions. Quite interesting really, because the River Manifold, because it's on a limestone bed, it seems to have sunk. You can't actually see the river, you just see like an empty riverbed. But I suspect the river's much lower than that. You'll see it come up in flood. But of course this time of the year it's not likely to flood. Hiya guys, well so far so good. We've got as far as behind me, which would have been Riding Station. So that would have been Riding Station on the Leek Manifold Railway. And there's people camping out here now. Quite close to the river again. The other river comes in now. We've got the Manifold, we've got the River Matlock and all. I think they converse here, they convulge, whatever they do, you know, whatever rivers do. So we're going to carry on up the valley now, so we'll get up to the next station. Bye bye for now. Oof. Well, how you going guys? We've got to Thor's Cave station now on the Leek Manifold Railway. You can see the caves behind us. I'm going to ride up to Hulme End first and we'll have a look at the caves on the way back down. But it's a beautiful day, it's quite busy now, and the trackbed goes quite straight now towards facing north. We just come round some caves to the south. And there's Thor's Cave up at the top of the hill. So I hope I've got the energy left to climb up there, so we'll catch up with you later. Hi guys, right, we've got as far as what was Reddest Alt, so this would have been this area. This was where the station was, Reddest Alt. It's the next one up from Thor's Cave, so we're heading this way now. Continue our trek up the hillside. If I can get back on the bike. Well, we've got down, we've got up as far as Wetham Mill now. This behind me was the site of the station. Yeah, it's quite touristy now really. They've got cafes and sell ice cream and teas and all sorts of stuff. And they allow cars down here and all, so it's not quite as nice as it was in the earliest places. But we'll see what it brings as we head farther north. Hiya, we've got to Swainsley Tunnel. This is the only tunnel on which was on the old Leek Manifold Railway. So we're going to cycle through it. It's a lovely tunnel. It's got some nice abutments on it. The only problem with it is cars are allowed to use it and all, which I could see it could be a problem if you're cycling through here or walking, and there's no pavements, so if a car's coming towards you, you know. Okay, we're now at Butterton Station. Well, this is the site of what it would have been on the Leek Manifold. So we've just come through the tunnel. It's quite busy, the tunnel, there's motorbikes and all sorts going through it. But we're continuing now up to Hulme End. So we'll see you up there.
Right.
Hiya, we're just around the corner from the last station on the line to Hulme now, Ipstone. We'll stop at that one Friday up. This section down here, there was a spur off here. It's the only spur on the old line, Leek Manifold Railway, so it used to run off down there and just end a few thousand yards down there. So there is some sign of something up here. Somebody's put a bench up there and the embankment's raised for some reason with some or wooden, whatever it was there, so whether this were used for the sidings, loading, unloading, it's hard to say really. So we've just moved up the line now, so this is the site of Ipstone Station, just before the curve. Nothing left of it now of course, but it's quite a significant goods area just south of the station, so you can see there's something been there. The line widens, it might have been an interchange. It were milk churns what were coming up here before passengers started using it really. So it fed all the farms, so it wasn't significant stations by any means, but this is the last station on the line now. We're going to make our way up to Hulme. Well, finally made it. We're up to the top of the trail now. So we've cycled the full length of the Leek Manifold narrow gauge railway, and behind me is the original station building. They've actually made a model of the old engine shed on this side. They call it T Junction, so we're going to go in and grab something to drink and get a brew. So we've made it. And this is where we're going next, up to Thor's Cave, if I can make it up there. There's quite a lot of steps going up there, so we'll see you at the top. Hey guys, well we made it up to Thor's Cave. Nearly killed me getting up here. This is a cave behind me. So we're going to get a bit of a rest now. We're going to try to get into the cave and then we're going to walk right back down to the bottom of the hill again. So I'll see you later.
You are literally going to do some left. You are literally